Next week on Coronation Street promises to be nothing short of explosive. With the shocking discovery of Sally and Tim Metcalfe's car by the police, questions arise about what happened and where they are now. As if that's not enough, the mystery behind Joel Deering's murder takes an unexpected twist as Dee-Dee Bailey confesses, though flashbacks hint there's much more beneath the surface. Fans will finally get the answers they've been waiting for, but the truth may be more chilling than anyone expected. Meanwhile, David Platt finds himself in hot water as he secretly visits his wife, Shona's son, Clayton, in prison. When news breaks that Clayton's been rushed to the hospital, David's hidden guilt comes to light. And in yet another fiery confrontation, Tim faces off with Mason's friends, leading Sally to take matters into her own hands by calling the police. This is a week Coronation Street fans won't want to miss, packed with secrets, drama, and high-stakes confrontations. Monday, November 11th. Unable to live with the weight of what happened, Dee-Dee finally breaks and heads to the police station. She confesses to Kit that she was the one behind the anonymous call he received, and she reveals a shocking detail. She struck Joel with a crowbar in what she claims was self-defense. Dee-Dee insists that Joel was still alive when she left him, but Kit's reaction tells us there's more to this story. Is she truly guilty, or is someone else pulling the strings? Dee-Dee's confession is just the beginning, and it leaves everyone wondering if she'll end up behind bars, or if another suspect is about to emerge. Meanwhile, Sally is fuming over the loss of her mother's ring and can't believe Tim let Mason into their house in the first place. When Tim spots Mason hanging around with his brothers, he's had enough and marches right over to confront them. While Mason's brothers, Matty and Logan, brush him off with laughter, Tim picks up on something Mason can't quite hide: fear. But it's when Mason knocks on Tim and Sally's door later that things take a turn. Sally's rage reaches its peak as she grabs Mason and calls the police, determined to make sure he faces the consequences of his actions. On another front, David finds himself in a tough spot. After getting a prison visiting order from Clayton, he turns to Nick for advice. Nick warns him that keeping this from Shona isn't going to end well, and she's bound to find out eventually. Torn but determined, David decides he needs to face Clayton, so he goes through with the prison visit. David's inner struggle is real, as he tries to balance his loyalty to Shona with the complicated ties to her son, who's always managed to bring trouble into their lives. Wednesday, November 13th. The investigation into Joel's murder is heating up, and now Lisa's in the hot seat. She confides in Carla that her CS spray, the one she keeps for safety, was somehow found near the murder weapon, making her look suspicious. Lisa's convinced someone's trying to frame her, probably the real killer looking to keep the heat off themselves. She starts retracing her steps, desperate to figure out who could have stolen the spray from her and set her up. But this is Coronation Street, so as much as it feels like she's the one being framed, there's always a chance Lisa's story has some gaps. Either she's onto the killer, or she's hiding something herself. Meanwhile, Kit has decided to follow his own instincts and is closing in on his next suspect, adding another layer of tension. Over on David and Shona's end, things take a dark turn. David finds Shona in an absolute state. She's just had a visit from the police and the news isn't good. Her son, Clayton, is in the hospital, and it's left her completely shaken. David has been torn up about his own involvement and secrets around Clayton, and now with this news, the pressure is mounting on him to come clean about everything he's been keeping from Shona. The past just doesn't seem ready to let them move on, and it's only a matter of time before things come to a head. As for Sally and Tim, the police get an anonymous tip-off and finally track down their car. Tim's already on edge about everything going on with Mason, who suddenly apologizes to Tim for the trouble he's caused. In an unexpected slip, Mason lets it slip that he was the one who tipped off the police, leaving Tim shocked. It's hard to tell if Mason's apology is genuine or just another way to manipulate the situation. In the hospital, things are a bit more tender as Lauren finds some comfort in Max, confiding her fears that social services might one day take Frankie away. Max does his best to reassure her, promising that as long as they stick together, they'll get through it. Friday, November 15th. In a special episode, a series of flashbacks from the night of Joel's murder are interspersed with Kit's police interviews as viewers finally get the view from the bridge and discover who delivered the final blow that killed Joel. Thanks for tuning in to Episode Whisper. If you don't want to miss a single twist, turn, or shocking reveal from your favourite shows, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, so you'll be the first to know when we dive into the latest episodes and juicy spoilers. Stay in the loop, and we'll see you in the next breakdown.